You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sport. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed, but today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, final location near you, now.
Hey conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see my kid?
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bishop Chatard High School as we bring you high school boys soccer right here on IndianaSRN. Tonight, the Trojans looking for their first win of the year. They come in at 0-4 on the season, 0-1 in conference play. They'll be hosting the Warriors of Covenant Christian. They're 1-3-2 on the year, 0-1 in Circle City action. Tonight's game brought to you in part by the Morales Group. Building better futures one story at a time. Also by Burtner Electric, your licensed and experienced electricians serving Central Indiana. IU Sports Management, a lifetime of sports with a winning degree. Piper Logistics, 3 service, 1 logistical solution. and by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown farm equipment dealer. Troy Derengowski along with Ben Wood. It is a Thursday night matchup, and these two teams are now in the third week of this high school season. Both teams trying to get on track here tonight, and Ben, there's no doubt about it. When you look at the numbers, both teams have had a really difficult time scoring, and that's one thing they're going to have to do here and pick it up pretty quick if they're going to make any type of a run later in the year.
Yeah, and I think that's something both of these coaches probably are going to focus on in this game. Two teams that are conference rivals, familiar with each other, play each other every season. So they're going to come into this one and say, hey, play loose, play fast. Let's get some goals out there. I want to see a high-scoring matchup here tonight, and I think that's what we're going to try and see from both teams, just try and put them in the back of the net.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this Covenant Christian team. As we mentioned, 1-3-2 on the year. They open up with that win over Danville. They tie a good Avon team. They lose to Speedway, and then they've kind of hit a little bit of a rough spot here in the last couple of matches. They did tie Lebanon. They lose to Heritage Christian, and they lose to Providence. Angelo Lucas expected to be in goal here tonight. 49 saves, a 2.0 goals against average. But when you look at it, they don't have a whole lot of shots on goal. Ben Mathias has 15, Andrew Crane has 20, and their leading goal scorer is Josh Bird with 3.
Yeah, they've had some really tough matchups to start off the season. I think that's something that Coach probably like to have, so it prepares them, like you said, for a later run here in the season. But I look at those three losses, and those three teams they've lost to so far have a combined record of 13-3. So you can't really hang your head too much on those losses. I'm sure it was just a few mistakes, not getting some opportunities to go your way on the offensive end, and those results could have went in their favor. So I think they're going to come out here and see a team in Chatard who's 0-4, and they're going to be licking their chops ready to go.
You look at Chatard, and again, looking for their first win, they have one common opponent. That is that Heritage Christian matchup in which Chatard lost that one by a final of 4-3. They lose to Cathedral. They lose to Heron. They lose to West Lafayette. They had that game against Centerville Monday. It was postponed because of rain. And the key stat when you look at this team in Chatard, only 13 shots on goal the entire season.
Yeah, that's tough for them. They're coming off that loss against West Lafayette, another very good team. I believe they're ranked third in their class, so another game you can't really hang your head on. And in this one, I think they're going to focus on possession. If we can maintain possession, hopefully we'll get some good looks because Covenant Christian hasn't had that offensive firepower either. So I think it's just a team matchup here. Whoever has the possession, whoever's going to get more looks, going to go there in favor.
Yeah, by the way, Brian Rodriguez expected to be in goal tonight. We'll see if that will change. 15 saves, but he has goals against average at 3.8. If they're going to win tonight, they will really have to bring that number down. Their leading goal scorer, Ben Harless, with 3 goals. Cash Moore has a single goal so far on the season. So a lot to play for here tonight as both these teams will try to right the ship. And again, Chatard at 0-4 overall, 0-1 in conference play. Covenant Christian 1-3-2 overall, 0-1 in conference play as well. Both teams getting ready for this one here tonight. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, get the kickoff in just a couple of moments. This is high school soccer right here on IndianaSRN.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I'm seeing mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
How about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. Shh, we're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You see what I did?
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
We're back here at Bishop Chatard High School. We are underway, and welcome again to high school soccer. Again, Chatard looking for that first win of the year. Covenant Christian looking for their first Circle City Conference win. You talked about earlier, and I'll wait till they do come back. And the one thing you mentioned a little bit ago was certainly getting off to a good start would be big because, again, both offenses have been struggling this year, and possession is going to be big as well. So that's a key early.
Yeah, and I think you'll see both of these teams try and take some chances here because why not? You've really got nothing to lose. And if you can get on the board early, that's going to put some pressure on the opposing team. So look for these teams to take some chances here and try and get in that attacking third.
And that's exactly where they are at the moment as you see Chatard in control. And you generally, when you're a team that has struggled offensively, as these two teams have, but again, as you mentioned, Covenant has played some pretty decent teams this year, so you can certainly understand it. It becomes kind of a mental thing, too. And then your keeper, if he's struggling and you're kind of looking at each other, where are we going to fix this at? You just don't have much time to do it, though, Ben, because this season moves pretty quickly.
Yeah, it is kind of wild how fast the soccer season goes. It starts, mid-August, and by mid-September, you're already in sectional play. So, like you said, it's really in practice. You got to work with your guys, becoming a solid unit as you see a little bit of a chance there. But, yeah, it's just really working on it, I think people forget how much of a team sport soccer really is, how much communication, kind of like in basketball, how each guy has to let the person know where they're at, where they're going to be, and just when you get that flow, it really helps out there when you get some opportunities keeping these guys together. So we'll see if they can string anything together here early on.
Gabriel McNamee kicks it out of play, but nobody saw it. I'm assuming Chatard's in the blue, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to think about that for a split second, too.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, there's no way.
We have a goal kick as, again, we're at near the 37-minute mark. And I tell you what, that's one of the areas you really must not have happen very often. That's unforced errors.
Yeah, but then you see a bad throw-in right there back, so both teams kind of giving it back to each other. And in between the pipes for Chatard, you got the sophomore Brian Rodriguez, so a young talent there for the Trojans. Here's a good counterattack, but
yeah, that pass to the middle was intended for Gabe Rivera, but was a little bit off the mark, and it will be a throw-in.
And I've noticed, Troy, there's a couple players out there wearing some clubs on their arm. You got number 8, and I think I also saw number 6 for Chatard with a little, I don't know if it was a cast or.
Yeah, something. That number 8 who you're looking at there is Maddox Tom for Covenant Christian. And I'm sure that you know as well as anybody that you have to have that pre-approved before you can come out there with a club on your arm. And I had a great thought right there. Now it's gone. So how many people are watching? Still no score here at Chatard High School as we're down to the 36-minute mark. Into the attacking third, but there's your keeper, Angelo Luca. We heard the public address announcer at one point say that it was going to be Henry McNeil in goal, but that is not the case. It is Luca for Covenant Christian. In fact, we have a pair of zeros in goal each way. So now let's see if...
this is dumb.
It is. They ought to just let the video run. And so now once the ball goes out of play on the far side of the field, it'll be a throw-in here for Bishop Chatard. Good look at Matthew Morano there for the Trojans, but again, a turnover, and we'll go to midfield. Cam Hickman there for Covenant Christian trying to advance it. Good defensive pressure put on by the Trojans as the ball squirts out of bounds on the near side, and it'll be a throw in here for the Warriors.
And that's something right there that you'll see a lot of really good teams do is when they lose possession, they'll fight really hard right away to get it back, and that's what Covenant Christian was able to do right there.
Once again, the attack thwarted as the ball sent middle, and the attempt blocked, and now we'll head back the other way. Can Chatard get a run going here? Still no score here at Chatard as both teams play in the middle.
Yeah, really, these last couple minutes, we haven't seen it really either team get inside that 30-yard line.
Exactly. It's been very rare. And again, that's probably why you see both teams struggling a little bit to score, and an attempt right there by Jarzanecki from Bishop Chatard, but it goes wide left. I like how the keeper came out there to play that one.
Yeah, that was a really good pass. It was just a better play by the keeper coming out and testing that shot. Otherwise, he would have had an open look at the net.
Now be careful, that ball rolling out there behind the net. If it gets out there, we're working with 2 soccer balls. Warriors and the Trojans continue to do battle here, and we're almost 9 minutes into this opening half of play. Throw in near side by Hickman, and we might have our first foul of the evening. See if this will be a yellow, and it is. And looks like they may have gotten number 6, Alex Paz, there for Chatard. He was the other player we're talking about that has the wrap. Now, his looks more like a wrap. The other one looks more like a full cast, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think that could be more of an advantage than even in football, because using that to gain some separation there, you could.
By the way, that was not a legal play right there by Josh Bird. He wanted to get a head start. Unfortunately, the referee wasn't quite ready yet.
Got to wait for that whistle.
Now, I think it's a great idea if you can do it. By the way, that 3-man wall is going to get backed up, too. That you can't do that stuff, Ben.
No, but I mean, any chance you can get, you got to take here if you're looking for the win.
Header will go opposite side, deep in the corner. Caleb McCrory is there along with Gabriel McNamee. Possession goes back and forth, but back into the attacking third the other way. Now as Covenant will try to get on the board. Ball centered, back kick, nice play. Sam Kaufman able to clear that one away. And rarely do you see a player back kick on a defensive effort like that, but that was a nice play.
Yeah, you got to be pretty confident in where that ball is going to go and make sure there's not a player streaming up the field, and that wasn't the case there, so a good heads-up play by the defender.
I'm going to take back a little bit ago. I believe they did replace Luca in goal on the other end because it is Henry McNeil, number 0. So we have 2 number 0s going at it. So Luca, again, with the goals against average at 2, out of the lineup here tonight.
And McNeil's actually played in one other game, so he's had some experience this year. This is a very good opportunity here for him to get some action. And so far he's made one good play, so you can't knock him yet.
You can kind of tell, and when you look at these two teams at this stage, I'm not sure what they lost in the scoring department from a year ago, as that's a nice ball there by Chatard. But you can kind of tell that offensively they don't seem to be quite in sync yet this year.
No, we haven't really seen too many times where they've been able to string together 3 or 4 passes. It's usually been 1 or 2, and they'll maybe get a look. But, yeah, like you mentioned, the cohesiveness just isn't there.
Well, that time the long shot would have been a little bit wide nonetheless.
Rather be safe than sorry.
Exactly. The one time you don't go for it, it'll go in.
Yep.
And then your coach will be talking to you and saying some bad things. Goalie kick this time, though, kicked well into the midfield area, just outside the circle as we are under the 28-minute mark. Boy, playing that midi area is also really, really big. If you can get your defense, get some steals, really put pressure back on the defenseman as you see the ball cleared, see if Covenant can do something right here. That's Hickman centering. Nice deflection. Able to hold on to it, though, will be McCrory. I'm going to say, if you can play that middle well and keep that ball in the other team's territory, boy, a lot of pressure you can put on that defense and their keeper.
Exactly. You get that counterattack working. You've already got numbers in your favor. You've got the momentum. You can get some really good looks that way.
Throwing for Chatard, lead pass past midfield. But again, thwarted there by that Covenant defense as they've come up and been a little bit more aggressive at the midfield area. This is McCrory once again. Boy, anytime you work it up that sideline, you end up seeing 3 or 4 defenders there, as you see right there. I'm not so sure it's better to take it back, clear it to the mid area, and we have hit the 26-minute mark and counting. Still no score here in the first half of play. Covenant giving up the ball there to Marcus Monachino. And there you get a good idea where Paz cleared it back and decided to play it deep. Covenant continues to possess here at the midfield circle, but again, good defensive effort by Alex Paz there of Chatard. One thing about possession, you talked about that earlier in the broadcast, that possession isn't just holding on to, it's passing, replacing, make that defense shift another way. And the one thing about that is you really got to possess. You got to be a good passing team.
Yeah, you always want to pass and move. Find those open gaps. You want to make that back line, make a decision, and really put them in tough decisions, because that's going to lead to open opportunities for you. And so far from either team, we just really haven't seen them kind of dissect each other's defense. It's usually just a couple passes, and then they'll take a chance, and it's not there. The pass is off the mark. So it really takes a lot, to find those open gaps and make sure everyone's on the same page. Like you said, filling and replacing, just keeping that ball moving, because when you get stagnant, it makes it easier for the defense.
By the way, one way you can tell that if a team or teams are struggling a little bit on offense, we're at the 24-minute mark. We haven't had a corner yet.
No.
So there really hasn't been much attack on either keeper. And I don't know if we really even have seen a shot on goal yet. I think we've seen maybe an attempt.
Yeah, a couple token opportunities, really. Nothing to really test each goalie.
Yeah, and so then if you're looking at that area too, if you're not going to get within striking distance and you're kicking from 25 yards out, it's a little hard to score. I could even probably be a goalkeeper there. So
yeah, I'd love to see that. That would be a good.
You think that'd be funny?
Yeah, that'd be. I was going to say that'd be a great experience for the viewer.
Yeah, I bet it would be. It looks like for Covenant Christian, they have brought in number 11, Nathan Afoylian. Afoylian, again, wearing number 11. So a substitution in now for Covenant as you see the Warriors try to advance it. Andrew Crane has 1 goal this year. He was working the ball to the near sideline.
Yeah, and he actually made a great stop there on the defensive side, because we saw Chatard coming on the counterattack with numbers, and he was able to thwart that and get possession back for the Warriors.
Warriors back on the attack. Ball led too far, and nobody was there to receive it. Might have been the closest with Zach Malik, but he was unable to get to it. And so we will head the other way. Good ball there, and a header will send this one outside the circle just to the right, and that ball goes out of play. Last touched by number 10 there for Chatard. That is Lorenzo De Vittore. So again, another throw-in. That's Logan Tom. There's a Logan Tom and a Maddox Tom that plays for the Warriors. Unable to advance it, and again, good defensive effort there. Two different Chatard players. Cash Moore, number 7, and Matthew Morano. That ball cleared all the way back, and the keeper will pick it up from there, and we'll see the Warriors go back on offense. These two teams play in the Circle City Conference, and they're going to be playing some really good teams yet ahead. Nice header, but your keeper able to come out challenged, so no scoring attempt that time by the Warriors.
And I believe both of these teams have lost to Heritage Christian. So far early in the season, they're looking like the team to win that conference. I believe they're sitting at 5-1 right now.
Yeah, and when you start thinking about Heritage Christian and how good they are right now, and you've got to win against both these teams, I mean, you're sitting pretty good right now in conference play.
I think I saw Cathedral so far has a losing record so far, even though they're not in the Circle City Conference. I think Chatard gave them a run for their money, but ultimately came up short. So I haven't looked around the rest of the Circle City Conference, but right now I would put my money on Heritage Christian.
Well, to give you a good idea, again, in soccer in the state of Indiana, there are only 3 classes because of the amount of teams that we have, and the rankings came out this week as you see a good ball cleared now near midfield. In 3A, we are about ready to say in the 3A ranks, as you see, we are now at the 20-minute mark and counting here in the first half of play. Zionsville is number 1. Zionsville ranked number 1 in 3A. Then you have Chesterton, Fishers, Noblesville, and Hamilton Southeastern. Carmel right behind. You have 5 teams in the Indianapolis area that are in the top 6, so it kind of gives you an idea, at least in 3A, just how good some of the teams are around the area.
Yeah, and I think Indy has, for most sports, is the hotbed in the state, but I think specifically for soccer is a big impact because of Grand Park. A lot of tournaments are played there. But a lot of tournaments are played there. I know that club soccer is huge. Some of the best players in high school, they don't even play for their high school teams. They play for these club and academy teams, and that's where they get the recognition. So I remember being up in the region, and there were top players that would play for club teams, and they would make the drive 2-3 times a week to come down to Indianapolis to practice with that team. So we did just see our first corner kick of the game, though. It came up empty-handed.
So 1 corner so far.
And this is another good opportunity here for Covenant Christian. You're down there in the attacking third. If you can get a good throw in here and
That throw in, again, thwarted by Chatard. We have been talking a little bit about the 3A rankings and how many teams around the Indianapolis area are in the top 10. And you look at the 5 there. If you look at Perry Meridian at number 12, as that ball sails out of play, you have Perry Meridian at 12, Westfield at 16, who you referred to up at Grand Park, and then Center Grove and Pike. So really heavily dominated by Indianapolis schools. We don't stop there, Ben, by the way. In 2A, West Lafayette is number 1. Then Brebeuf, who had a great year last year as the state champions in 2A, they're number 2. Then it's Evansville Memorial, Canterbury, and Concordia Lutheran at number 5. You have Heritage Christian at number 9, who again beat these two teams. Yes, Speedway at 11 and Guerin Catholic at 12. So if you take the 5, there's 9, 10, 11, 12. There's already 14 teams in 2 classes from Indy.
That's crazy. And I think in that 2A level specifically, those first top 5 teams have all won a state title or have been in that championship game within the last 5 years. So those are all programs that, at least in the last 10 years, have put together really good teams year in and year out.
Boy, almost thought Covenant was going to get an opportunity to get a score or at least an attempt. But Chatard able to stop him once again as we're coming up on the 16-minute mark. Ball played to the near sideline. Chatard will hold on to it for just a moment, and a whistle will stop play. Now, finally, in the 1A ranks, and we've been talking about some of the Indianapolis area schools, you have Park Tudor at number 1, Westview is number 2, followed by University, Faith Christian, and Couts. And speaking of Covenant Christian, they're ranked number 8 this week. Providence Cristo Rey at 11, and Lutheran out of Indianapolis, number 18. So I know you're going to say, and I'd be a little curious about the Covenant Christian numbers, but again, they played a pretty good schedule this early in the season. That's probably why they're at number 8.
Yeah, I think all 3 of their losses have come against ranked opponents. So obviously the coaches and people voting have given them the benefit of the doubt, seeing that they've got some good talent out there and they're capable of.
We're back once again as we're back. Chatard Covenant, still no score as we are under the 14-minute mark. Neither team able to really put together an offensive attack yet as that ball cleared past midfield. Let's see if good effort again there for Chatard as you see the keeper McNeil clear that one for Covenant Christian. That might be kind of the story of the night so far. coming up on the 12-minute mark, and something that Ben had talked about a little bit earlier in the pregame. And, you have two teams that are struggling to put the ball in the goal as that one squirts away. Picked up by the keeper once again, McNeil. Is now you try to find a way to generate some type of a shot on offense. And I don't remember the last time that we've gone, we're down to 12, and we haven't seen but maybe a couple of shots on goal. It's very rare you don't see more.
Yeah, and I think it is. They're taking their chances. It's just the passes aren't getting.
Under the 10-minute mark here in the first half of play, you see Covenant once again back on the counterattack, but again stopped just past midfield. We will, by the way, we'll also talk a little bit about kick here for Covenant. That was number 9, Josh Bird, who has 9 goals on the year. Good job again for Chatard, able to clear that one back out to midfield, but had a little bit of a collision down there near the goal. That
got substitutions. Number 15, Sam Coffin in for your Trojans. Number 18, Tommy O'Hara. And number 23, Isaiah Weir. For the Warriors, number 7 in, Caleb McCrory. Dangerous shot scooped up by Ryan.
5:25 remaining here. .335 remaining here in the first half. Still no score between Covenant and Chatard. Ben, we still got to say we've had only a couple of corners so far.
Yeah, and I think that last one we saw down on the far side of the field was the best look. It was a low cross in, and
minutes left. Start free kick from 20. 135 left.
Only 1 minute to go here, or 1 minute plus in the first half of play, and no score between these two teams. And here's the one thing, Ben, you don't want to do now here at the end of the first half is give up a cheap goal.
Exactly. You want to just make sure everyone's on the same page. Something like that you don't want to happen, where you just kind of take a simple pass, take it for granted, and it goes the wrong way. But luckily the goalkeeper was able to come out and help with that one.
Yeah, I thought maybe when you saw Cole Weber get a little bit of an opening that he might be able to get some, perhaps a one-on-one opportunity. And now you're down under 30 seconds remaining here in the first half. Won't be any there for Chatard. Leading the way was Thomas O'Gara.
Big boot there by McNeil.
Won't be enough time now, as we're going to go to the locker room, and kind of what we expected in the first half. Neither team able to get anything going on offense. Very few shots on goal here in the first half of play. We'll come back. Second half action coming up in a few minutes. I think they give them around 10 minutes for the half. And we'll come back with the second half in a few moments. This is boys soccer right here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
My name is David Pfeiffer. I'm the athletic director here at Covenant Christian High School. I'm also the boys soccer coach. I've been coaching for the last 5 seasons now, and have stepped into this role of athletic director at the same time. My time here at Covenant has been amazing. I've really enjoyed the atmosphere, the environment that I've been able to be a part of as an administrator as well as a coach. Within our athletic department, we offer 18 varsity level sports, and we also have a boys club volleyball as well. You look around the state, there aren't many small schools that offer all of those athletic teams, and within each of those teams we have junior varsity teams and maybe even freshman and C teams. So for our student athletes, there are lots of opportunities, regardless of what your level of experience is, to be able to get some playing time and be a part of a team. Looking back over the last few years, when I think of the success that we've seen within our athletic programs, we've had 43 student athletes, alumni, that have carried on their athletic pursuits at the next level, playing anywhere from the NAIA all the way up to Division I NCAA. And so to have that kind of number at a smaller school like this is pretty great testament of the type of student athletes that we're producing from an athletic standpoint as well. You look back too at the success of our overall teams. Over the last 25 years that Covenant has been in existence, we've won nearly 50 sectional titles, at least 10 regional titles, 5 semi-state titles, and then more recently our football team winning the 2020 1A state championship. So it's neat to see our teams being able to compete at the highest of levels and attain those accolades from a team perspective and an individual experience as well. I think what's also unique about being in a smaller school is those options and opportunities to play in multiple sports. As a former high school and collegiate athlete, I had the opportunity to play multiple sports in high school, and the opportunity to build a relationship with different teammates on different teams as well as different coaches is really unique, and I think an awesome opportunity that our student athletes have here at Covenant. Speaking of our coaches, each of our coaching staff have a personal relationship with Jesus, and their heart and their intention is to certainly help you grow as an athlete for sure, but we're also challenging to grow academically in the classroom, but also in their personal relationship with the Lord as well. So I think that's another unique thing about athletics here at Covenant Christian is this opportunity to help us pursue Christ in the midst of our academic and our athletic pursuits at the same time. At Covenant, we certainly want to provide an education-based athletic experience. So we certainly take seriously that our students are first students, right? They're student athletes, not athlete students. So from beginning to end, we want to provide accountability and a charge for you to succeed in the classroom and to be excellent stewards of the time that you have there, so that you're setting yourself up well for academics down the road as well. But we also want to compete at the highest of levels, and we want to try to equip and enable each of our student athletes to become the best version of themselves in the classroom and on the athletic contest field. So I think one of the unique things again about what we're trying to accomplish is this whole person development, right? We're challenging you to grow in the classroom, we're challenging you to compete at the highest level, and we're challenging you again to grow in your personal relationship with Jesus Christ as well.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year. Come on, get your head out of your sacks. We're trying to hear. Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo!
You saying I did?
Yeah!
Come on!
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Ready for the second 40 minutes of play. Chatard and Covenant again scoreless. What adjustments do you make from that first half? That's kind of a broad question to ask you, but I'm not sure where we go from here.
You know, Troy, I was trying to speak into existence. We'd see a lot of goals, and that wasn't the case. We didn't even really see too many opportunities. So there's a lot of things you could really work on. And this right here is
just outside the box, and an opportunity here for Covenant.
But the one thing I would say, there was a lot of times where there was just little mistakes, where they were having touch passes go out of bounds, throw-ins were hitting straight into the defender's feet. Just the little things you got to work on if you want to become a better team. So it's really just those small things, piecing them together, and hopefully it'll lead to some good looks. I think we only saw really one good opportunity came from Covenant Christian off of a low corner kick there with about 10 minutes to go. So other than that, there wasn't really any offensive, I would say, set pieces to take away or build on from that first half.
By the way, that call went against Bishop Chatard. It didn't seem like it was a foul at that point, but heading to the turf was Aiden McCrory. They'll bring the keeper out to deliver the kick. And there is Chatard keeper Brian Rodriguez. 15 saves. We mentioned his goals against average at 3.88 on the season. Ball played back to midfield as, again, Chatard unable to get it even into the attacking third to get an attempt. And then Covenant returns the favor as well at the other end.
And off that kickoff was probably one of the best opportunities they've had down there in the box. They were able to get a couple passes, just couldn't get it into the middle in front of the goal to get something going towards the keeper.
Ball again. Here's one thing I want to mention before I continue is something that when you see a lot of soccer teams just turn and kick instead of look first, I think sometimes they get a little bit too excited and don't play. They play toward where the ball might go or where they're hoping it's going to go instead of looking for a teammate. You see that a lot in some teams that don't have as much experience.
And usually you'll have that split second, and really good and experienced players will take that split second and survey the field and find the best option.
Throw in, header just above the box, but there's Rodriguez to bring that one down. And once everybody clears, Rodriguez will put it back into play. He has a good leg, and we have seen him clear this one way past midfield. So now Chatard into the attacking third, lead pass middle, and will there be an opportunity right here? And the center, and that one's going to be knocked away. Good defensive effort by McCrory as he helps out his keeper, McNeil.
Yeah, him and Crane have been really solid on the defensive end, and that one just being in the right spot. That's a heads-up play, an experienced play, helping out the goalkeeper on his weak side, and was able to deflect the shot.
I really thought maybe the opening to that could have been Jarzanecki, who had the ball right at the box and was unable to control it.
Yeah, it seemed like he was waiting for it to come down to try and crowd, maybe make a play after that instead of going for the shot right off the rip.
And that's sometimes as the ball comes to the near sideline, you get a little bit too anxious, and you're trying to go ahead, and your body isn't quite where it needs to be, and your anxiousness ends up costing you a chance to perhaps get a shot on goal.
Especially when the opportunities have been kind of few and far between, the eyes get even a little bit bigger when you see that ball coming towards you in front of the net.
Each team playing it around the 40, 45-yard line, as you see right there, and it will be Chatard now in control. Gabe Rivera trying to find an opening, wisely dumps it behind to McNamee. His lead ball now up for grabs on the sideline, will eventually go out of play as Rivera can't run it down right there. They're going to say those last touched by Covenant. There's a nice cross right there, but picked out of midair. Good job by McNeil once again.
He's done a good job on those goal kicks, getting the ball down the field, down the pitch, and finding players in stride. We saw towards the end of the first half, he was able to get one down to the other 25-yard line.
So it will be Chatard on a throw-in on the far side. 50-50 ball available there. A little header put together by Chatard, and now the ball comes loose near side, so they're unable to control it for any length of time, but then back the other way, another turnover by Covenant Christian. Oh, and we were doing so coming up on 34 minutes here in the second half. That almost looks like that might be Ryan Reed in goal instead of Rodriguez. Is that number 99 instead of number 0, or did Rodriguez take number 99?
That's a good question. It is hard to tell. The 99, the 00 from our vantage point, very, very hard to distinguish. That would be interesting, though, because I believe for both teams, the opposite. So for Covenant Christian, Angela Luca has been the one that's mainly been in goal, and I think for Bishop Chatard, it's been Brian Rodriguez who's had more minutes in goal. So maybe both of them went with their backups here.
Ball near sideline. Covenant keeping it alive. That's Matthias. He's had 15 shots this year. He is now second on the team behind Andrew Crane with 20. But they've both been quiet today.
Yeah, Crane's got some good size. We kind of saw him there brush off an offensive player. He got some good size back there for a backline defender.
Ball played near midfield. Chatard back in control for the moment. Both teams battling for it. That is Paz along with Aiden McCrory of Covenant Christian. By the way, high school football back tomorrow night. We have 4 games on tap.
One of them being Covenant Christian.
Yep.
Actually, the game is being held at Taylor University, so that'll be an interesting kind of switch up for them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I will have an interesting Hancock County game with Greenfield Central and Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon off to an 0-2 start. The defending champions only lost once last year. That was their opening game, and then they ran the table.
And then I believe Greenfield Central, are they undefeated? Or
They are.
Yeah,
They're 2-0, yeah. But they lost both times last year to Mount Vernon in a high-scoring affair in the sectional tournament. But what is funny about that, not to change our subject of football, but Greenfield Central still runs that wishbone offense. And so it's kind of something you don't see in football anymore because everybody's running the spread and everything out of the shotgun and throwing it all over the place. But they want to run it.
I think I can't remember the last team that ran it, but it was a team that made it to regionals, and they played Cathedral, and Cathedral just absolutely shut them down. I think they had 30 yards in the first half or whatever. So, I mean, if you run it well, obviously you can have some success with it, but the team knows what they're doing against it.
That ball high in the air by Austin Humbert, but right there, that is number 99, Ryan Reed, by the way. Unless he changed numbers, and that's Rodriguez, who was number 0. Now we say, why would they do that? But they did change Alex Paz's number from 18 to number 6. So forgive us for not knowing exactly who that might be.
Either way, whoever's in there is doing an excellent job so far.
That's right. That ball saved in the end zone at the other end of the field.
You know, that's a heads-up play right there, because if he lets that go out, it would have been a corner kick for Covenant Christian, and now they got to do a throw. For Chatard, and now they got to throw right there from the side. Oh, I guess it is a corner kick.
They will call it a corner, yeah.
I thought he was able to deflect it out on the sideline.
So this is the second corner we have seen tonight for Chatard. From our vantage point, it's hard to see who is going to be doing the kick. The last time we saw a kick from there, it was a line drive, and that's going to go to the other side. So one thing you want to do on those corners is give it a little bit of elevation so it'll come down in front of the goal, and then your players that are grouped around there have an opportunity to get possession, and a lot of times you'll see a header off those.
Yeah, and I thought that was a solid kick. It looked like Weber was there to get a foot on it. He just missed it, so it got through the defense, just wasn't able to put a foot on it.
Fortunately, if you're a Chatard fan, you move to the other side and try it again. You'll see the wave coming from the top. That one
and
kicked
it's Weber.
backwards.
Yeah, Weber again with a missed kick.
Well, you saw a couple of players there for Chatard attempt a header. And unfortunately, as you mentioned, Weber unable to get the turn of his body and ended up kicking it the wrong way. So Covenant able to thwart their corner. In fact, 2 straight corners. And now let's see if they can go back on possession here and try to get down the field and get themselves into scoring position. That's really, again, been the theme of this one here tonight. Neither team has had a really good look. Nothing where it makes you, well, here's Chatard now, an opportunity, and will they score finally here? Nope, it's going to go wide, and boy, that was a great opportunity there for the Trojans, and I think it was Gabe Rivera once again, was it not?
Yeah, it was. McNeil really gambling there. He came outside of the box to try and contest that shot, and it ended up working out in his favor.
So Covenant able to stay alive after that near first time we've seen a near goal. On the breakaway by Chatard, which we haven't seen much tonight either.
And it looked like Chatard had a 3-on-1 opportunity, but McNeil kind of thwarted that coming out so far and forcing the player to make a decision.
Here you see Rivera near the sideline. He goes down. Good move there by Mathis. Coming up on the 26-minute mark as Chatard back on offense. I would say that is Brian Rodriguez, who's changed his number to 99. He's had a couple of good balls here tonight. That's more of a line drive kick. And you see the two teams going back and forth there at midfield. Really no control either way, as a little bit of a shove from behind, but the ball goes. Both teams battling here in the Covenant Christian third, but they can't control it. Both teams turning it over quite a bit here tonight. Really, you talked about possession earlier, and that is something neither team has been very good at here this evening.
No, it's been pretty even, and a lot of times we just see quick passes kind of ping-ponging between both teams.
Long shot, knocked down. Good job by McNeil. Here's the thing about you watch soccer long enough, you kind of get a feeling that maybe Chatard's offense is picking it up a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely more so than in the first half. They didn't really have too many opportunities, but now you're seeing a good opportunity here for the Warriors on the counter.
Yeah, can they get across here? No. In fact, that ball, I think, was intended a little bit behind to McCrory, or was it Hickman? It was Hickman who was unable to get to it. But again, that pass has got to be on target right there, and it wasn't. We are in danger of seeing a scoreless regulation, and that means OT, which our producer Casey has been waiting for one. There's a high kick, and there you go. Covenant Christian gets on the board, and that was a beautiful ball for the Warriors. That was number 16, which is Logan Tom. Take a look at this one. That's from the 15-yard line. That's 25 yards out.
That was top shelf where your mom hides the Swiss rolls.
That was number 16. Back the other. Oh. Coming up on the 15-minute mark, as it'll be Chatard after tying this one at 1 apiece. Good ball to the middle, but then sails to the left side. The last goal by Gabe Rivera, and Ben, that one coming just moments after the goal by Logus Tom to give them a 1-0 lead.
You really couldn't ask for a quicker goal if you're the Trojans. That was, 10 seconds after that ball hit the back of the net?
Boy, how many times, though, do you see that where a team will score, and the next thing you know, the other team comes right back? I don't know if it's a letdown or what it is, but maybe a little more urgency on the team that's down.
Yeah, I think it's usually that's of the latter where they see that happen and they say, okay, foot on the gas, we need one here. And they'll find a way to make it happen.
Boy, and if you're a Covenant fan and you thought, boy, we went scoreless in the first half, each team is struggling again a little bit here in the second half, you thought maybe that goal was going to be it, didn't you?
Yeah, and they didn't even get time to soak in how great of a shot that was from how far out. It was upper 90, his first goal of the season, and they didn't even get to bask in that awesome play. And the Trojans doing what they needed to do, came down and got a goal.
There is Gabe Rivera. He's been very, very active tonight on both ends of the pitch. As you see him trying to work for position there with Mark Crane of Covenant. Good look at Cash Moore. He has a goal to his credit this year. Can Chatard take the lead here? As that's a long shot as well, but knocked down there by McNeil.
And right there, for an instance, he drew 3 defenders, and instead of trying to pull it back and, work it again through the offense, he fires off a shot that doesn't really have an opportunity at going in. So that's something a younger player, he's only a sophomore, he'll learn in situations like that. There's always going to be an open man when you've got multiple defenders coming your way.
And we talked about it earlier, too, Ben, that the one thing you don't want shots from 20, 25 yards out, because odds are and that keeper has a lot of room to maneuver down there. That's why you need to work that offense a little bit closer.
Yep.
So let's see if either team can do that the rest of the way. As you'll see Chatard. Keeper will put it in play as we come up on the 13-minute mark. There is Rivera once again, and he gets surrounded by 2 Covenant players as the ball comes near side to Moore. Morano leading that one ahead. Kaufman in a foot race there with McCrory. And Kaufman able to keep it in play, which is a good maneuver there. So you have it in the attacking third, and goalie kick, a free kick there for McNeil, and he sends that one all the way down the pitch. Nobody there to get it, though, for the Warriors, and the ball will be sent out of bounds. Smart play there for the Trojans to make sure their defense can get back in position, but then Covenant unable to keep possession. Off the right foot of Moore. You start getting down to about 10 minutes, and I always talk about this in the game of soccer, especially because you don't have a ton of possessions left, and as you see the clock down to 11:25, a little more physical play at this end of the pitch as you see 2 players go down. One went down from Covenant. That was McCrory.
Yeah, that's really tough to see because Kaufman over there on that far side, we've seen the last few possessions. He's really been fighting over there trying to get something to go there on that offensive third, and he's made some good moves, and right there you saw him take a tough hit. Good to see him get back up and walk off on his own power. Hopefully he can stay out there as well.
I got to ask you, when you think about that clock, and I was mentioning if you get that thing down to 10, now you're tied at 1, so you don't feel maybe as much of a sense of urgency. But when it gets to 10, you don't have a whole lot of possessions remaining, especially if you're a game like this. Now, it could change it quite a bit here in the last 10 minutes, but where do you go from here to try to find that one goal now, since you still are struggling a little bit to find good shots?
Well, I think for Chatard, they're going to keep going with what they've been trying to do, go down that far right side, get Kaufman the ball there, and hopefully get across into the box. And for Covenant Christian, for them, they just keep taking some chances here because they've really only had that one shot, and it was kind of, I would say, a prayer from that far out and just putting it right where it needed to be. So if they can just maintain possession here for these last 10 minutes and hopefully get a shot.
Yeah, and if you can get a breakaway, perhaps that would help, but that lead intended on Chatard's side. They have changed another number. Number 23 is in for Chatard, but we do not have him currently on the roster. We'd mentioned a couple of players had changed their numbers, and we were not privy to that information at, as they say, press time. So forgive us for that, but Chatard trying to put it back into the attacking third area, but goes out of play. And that's the other thing, too. You've mentioned some of the young players. They'll learn a lot from a game like this, too, that just like that ball there, that's a ball you just cleared and it went out of bounds. You gave possession back again to Covenant as Zachary Jackson, number 10, will come in for the Warriors. But you want to keep that ball in play and keep possession, like you said, because, again, we're coming up on that 10-minute mark. It'll be big.
Exactly. And some of these losses but that both of these teams have, I'm sure they can point to some instances where say, hey, if we would have kept this in play or if we would have went this way instead of that way, the result might have been different. So you can definitely take away from some of these mistakes, and these players will learn from them because these are talented kids out here. I'm sure they're all playing club soccer, looking to get better out here, and they've still got some of their best soccer in front of them.
Well, there's Rivera in the corner. Let's see if he can find a good ball here as he makes a one-on-one move. And coming up to knock that one away is Andrew Crane. Rivera drew a double team. He really did a nice job getting by McCrory first.
Yeah, and Crane, I think he's been kind of the star of the defense for the Warriors on that back line. The senior, you can tell he's been in the right spot 9 times out of 10, helping out his teammates, doing what he needs to do to get that ball away from the goal.
Looks like Jarzanecki will put it in play off the corner, and that one just behind the goal. I think it was a pretty good ball at the beginning, but it curved a little bit too much. You know, ideally you want to place that ball right in front of the goal if you can and make that keeper move and perhaps get yourself a header or a cheap ball in the box, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Covenant trying to clear it themselves, and this will be sent back the other way, and good effort again as you see McNeil come out to scoop that one up. So we're under the 10-minute mark. We're still tied at 1 apiece, and we have again seen both teams with very few opportunities here tonight, but now it's time to find an opening someplace. By the way, if you're watching some college football tonight, Purdue leading Penn State 10-7, but if you're a Ball State Cardinals fan, we're not going to tell you what the score is. And there you go. That's exactly what we talked about, and there is McCrory with the lead goal as we hit under the 10-minute mark, and that was a great play.
That was a phenomenal play. McCrory just looking to get his foot on it, a little bit of a misdirection there. You could see with his eyes and his body, he was facing to make the pass, and I think that threw off the defender and the goalkeeper and was able to sneak it by him. But, man, these 2 goals from Covenant Christian, you really can't ask for much more.
Yeah, look at McNamee. He kind of turned his back. You see number 3 there for Chatard and really should have stood in front of him and forced it to go another way. But now Covenant with a 2-1 lead. Now here's where time is going to be more of a factor for Chatard than it will be for Covenant. Because if I'm Covenant, I'm telling you what, right now, I'm getting possession, and I am passing back and forth and wasting as much time as I can. See, because there's really no hurry. I'd love to get it past midfield, though.
Yep.
Get it out of my end as much as I can, but then I want to make sure that I try to possess it 35, 40 seconds at a time. Unfortunately, 2-1 Covenant with the lead. As you see, the Warriors will have a throw in here on the near side, and that is number 7, Caleb McCrory, who got the go-ahead goal here late, and unfortunately not a good throw-in, so the possession given up back to Chatard.
Yeah, both goal scorers for Covenant Christian, their first of the year for both of those players, so I'm sure they're happy to see one finally go in the back of the net.
Well, and certainly when you think about it from a confidence standpoint, too, that will be a huge help when these two teams move on, especially if you're the winner of this one, that you can score, as that ball will ricochet just to the left. And we will see a corner now, I do believe, for Covenant.
And this is another advantage when you have the lead here with these last 5 minutes or so. You can really just take your time. There's no rush. The ref isn't right there telling you, hey, you need to put this in place. So you can usually take about 20 to 30 seconds off just getting this one up in the air.
Yeah, one thing, don't be too deliberate about it, but just like that, they take one corner guy over, then they bring another one over, and you can, like you said, you can waste a good 40 seconds right here. Now, here's the situation which I would probably think about doing. That's not a bad ball there, but there's really nobody there to receive it in the middle. Is take it back to midfield, work it back over, work it back.
Yep.
Ooh, that one off the chinny chin looked like of Ufa Lehman. You see the clock up top is at 5:40. Ours a little bit off in the corner for a few seconds, but Casey's too busy eating his dinner. You know, he eats, we don't get anything. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
We'll see another substitution coming in. Sure who they said that was, number 23. I don't have a 23 for Chatard, but I think Matthias, was already in. Is that ball near side, the front header there by McNamee. As you see, two teams battling, two players. That's Moore on the near side. Things got a little chippy there as Logan Tom.
And I think if I'm Chatard here, I'd take everyone and just send them in the box, and you kick one in there and see if anything can go.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes you get so many bodies down there. The goalkeepers not only got to concentrate on the ball, where it's going, where this flow will come from up top. You see the player Weber with the kick right here. Pretty good one, but nobody was there to receive it there for Chatard. I think that wasn't a bad ball at all.
No, put it right in the middle. Like you said, put a lot of bodies around it and hope something happens in your favor.
Now, if you're Covenant Christian at this stage, don't make a really big mistake and get yourself out of position. And sometimes that can happen pretty easily. You got your eye on the clock and hoping it runs down quickly, but you got to just focus on playing good defense right here. 50-50 ball, eventually won there by Covenant. Ball sent to the near side. Unable to control it there was, I believe that was Kaufman once again for Chatard. Another good ball there for Covenant. Now get possession. We'll have to ask our producer if our clock is relatively close still, or okay. He gives me a thumbs up, but I'm not sure I trust him. Line drive kick. Dump it back. There you go. Up. Look out. Well, if you come out as a keeper, you got to be expecting that. You're outside the box, and I'm not saying you're fair game, but bottom line is you become just like everybody else.
Yeah, that one was a little iffy, though. I think if that wasn't so late in the game, they might call something there, but they know time there isn't too much left. So
I didn't think it was too blatant, did you? I mean,
no, but I thought the contact was a little unnecessary because it's not like it was a bang play. He kind of ran him after he scooped it up.
Well, it was all in the confusion there. You know, there's so much going on there, Ben. You just got to be careful.
Yeah, and McNeil's done a good job. He's gambled a few times coming out on some balls, and it's worked out in his favor every time. So
Under 2 minutes remaining in this one as Chatard in danger now, falling to 0-5 on the season. So Casey is still about 27 seconds off. Player down now for Chatard. They will stop play, and Casey, by the way, has eliminated the clock for the moment.
I believe that was Rivera that took a dive. It seems like he's able to get back up.
Well, that'd be a big loss for them.
Yeah, he's been working hard tonight. He's kind of seemed like he's been the focal point trying to get.
So Rivera is now out of the lineup for Chatard. He has one, in fact, the only goal tonight for the Trojans. As we have well documented at this point for Covenant Christian, the idea is to gain control and then run out the rest of the clock. Unfortunately, unable to clear it past midfield, and smartly, Aiden McCrory kicks that one out of bounds. This will give the defense a chance to regroup, and a throw in for Chatard. And look how many white jerseys are down there near the box.
All hands on deck to make sure one doesn't get past him.
Yeah, you're chasing everybody now.
I guess I should say all feet on deck.
That's right. So now Covenant is that less than a minute now? Covenant deep in the corner, just seconds remaining in this one. They'll pick up their second win of the year. As now Chatard is really going to have to hustle down the pitch here. And I like this defense now. You come up and you make them play the ball instead of giving them a freebie. A little push from behind, though, as the ball goes out of bounds. That should be Warriors' ball. You hear the countdown as we're down to the last couple of seconds of this one, and it will be Covenant picking up the win over Chatard by a final of 2-1. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks to our entire staff as well. We appreciate it. Don't forget high school football tomorrow night. Check it out on IndianaSRN.org. We'll have a complete list of all the games right there as well, and we are done.